I've said it once, and I'll say it again. Are you guys not entertained? Because I certainly was by this episode. This is your host, Griever, as always. Episode 7 of Ragnarok anime review. Let's get underway with it, because I expected this to be the episode. The episode that I got spoiled on, the episode that everybody's complaining about regarding Zeus versus Adam. I fully expected it to happen this episode, but then the pacing sort of was slowed down and I just went, oh, okay, so this clearly isn't the episode. If it is, I don't know what anybody's complaining about, because the one key thing I want to talk about in this episode is that animation-wise, it had some of the best animation to date. Certainly Zeus's transformation into Adamas or Adamas or whatever they're calling it now, his diamond form, his final form, this isn't even my final form and now it is sort of idea, right? That was extremely well done. The opening bit with the episode where they explain the fist that between Aries sipping his tea, smashing the mug and talking to Hermes, and Hermes explaining exactly what happened with the fist that surpasses time and what happened at the end of the last episode, that was well done. Loki's introduction, facial expressions, the transformation from Thor and everything, all that was done well. Just about everything that was supposed to be well animated in this episode anyways was well animated. I didn't really have much of an issue here. Like every scene seemed to be flowing and everything seemed to have an ebb to it and everything was fine. So in all honesty, this is probably one of the highlight episodes if you're going to talk animation for Record of Ragnarok, which is a little hit and miss, scene by scene, episode by episode. We know that. As always, I do have my trusty list here of things that I wanted to talk about. And one of the things I really liked is that they did not skip the Aries explanation. They didn't hurry it along. I like that he says here, I'm the god of war. Now, this, and this. Now, we all treat, as I explained in the last episode and stuff, we all treat in the manga community Aries like a bit of a joke. Aries is a bit of a joke to us as far as, the rest of the gods and humanity and all that is concerned. But at this junction, at this time, when we were first reading the manga, we did not know that. So having Aries stand here and just go, I couldn't catch it. Even if I were to train, I'm the god of war, and if I trained for 1,000 damn years, I could not surpass Adam. And it's like, okay, now we have some, whoa, that's from a god himself, one of the sons of Zeus. It's like, alrighty, at the time, it meant something, it held weight, right? So that was really cool. I'm glad that they had that entire sequence and that whole scene, and that was very well done. The Adam backstory was as well done as I figured it would be, and I'm glad they didn't. Once again, this is one of the bestly paced episodes I found because it was moving things right along. They didn't hurry it up. And as I said before, I'm so glad that they didn't stick to the Thor backstory style. I don't get really why they did that. It didn't really hit home for anybody. I don't think anybody really liked the way they handled the animation for Thor's backstory, but I'm glad that every subsequent backstory since has been proper, has been done correctly. So there is that. That's a good thing. And the Adam backstory is no different, though there is one key thing about the Adam backstory that actually the anime improves upon. It improves upon in the manga, I would argue. And you guys are going to be like, whoa, wait a minute. We're not talking VAs, and we're not talking music enhancing a scene. You're saying that there was something depicted better in the anime that doesn't have 11 out of 10 god tier animation? Are you trying to say, Griever? Yes, I am. And I'll tell you what it is, guys. It's something very subtle. It's something very, very subtle. It's not here's what it is. When the serpent attacks, and I did reread the chapter to make sure I had this correct. A lot of people back when we were going through round 2 was the idea of eyes of the Lord. To what extent can it go? We know that he's throwing punches, but that's because Zeus is throwing punches. Can eyes of the Lord copy if he fought an animal? Could he, if he fought an elephant, and he attacked with his trunk, can Adam use eyes of the Lord and grow a trunk out of his nose or whatever? And that was one of the big things, right? People were questioning that, and here in the anime, I think we get confirmation that that's exactly how Eyes of the Lord works. It does not matter if it's within human anatomy. Adam will just grow what's necessary to copy the technique to perfection. So whatever his body needs to alter to change, it'll just change back. It wasn't very well depicted in the manga. because we didn't see the scales. We didn't see when the serpent attacks Adam, Adam uses eyes of the Lord. Here in the anime, we finally see that he actually grew claws. It wasn't just, a very like artistic representation of us doing like ting and like our nails growing a little long. No, he legitimately grew big dragon serpent like talon claws and used the attack that the serpent was using on him. And then his hand went back to normal. In the manga, that wasn't necessarily extremely clear. There was no scales. We didn't really see any claws necessarily. We just saw his hand seemed to be a little more, arched like this, but and his fingers might have been a little longer, but it didn't seem they had a point, but it didn't seem like he physically grew the talons of the serpent. And that seems to be the case here. So I really like the anime adaptation for doing that, for clearing that up. Because if it was so clear in the manga, nobody would have had that whole "what can eyes of the Lord not copy" conversation for the next, months after that fight, right? So I'm glad that the anime has finally officially cleared that all up. I'm going to take that as canon, and that's how Eyes of the Lord works. That shit can't be beat. Well, unless, circumstances. But yeah, so definitely like that portion of that. That was really good. And then the speech for that Adam does. That it's the famous speech. It's the only other speech better than this one, or not even better than this one, but on the same wavelength, on the same tier, isn't even in the anime yet. It's something else altogether. But definitely enjoyed the speech. I will say that the crowd reaction started off well and then sort of fell flat because Zeus is pointing at Adam and he tells him, and once again, I'm only watching this in English, guys. I imagine the Japanese are doing a very good job as well. I'm watching this in English, and Adam's voice actor is perfect for this scene. It's perfect for Adam. It just works so well. And of course, the famous line, "Does any man need a reason to want to protect his children?" And he considers everyone like, "I don't hate the gods" sort of idea. That's a foolish question. Is it revenge? Is it hate? Is it anything? These are foolish. That's foolish. That makes no sense, right? So I think it was very well handled. The animation was fine up to that point. He steps forward, clutches the brass knuckles, and says the line. Eve and Cain and Abel, and everybody's reacting. Then we see the tear. We see that somebody's in the crowd. The tears starting to form. And that's when it's like, okay, the music is there, the opera, the choir, the church organ sort of playing, and it's sort of like, okay, this is a very well done scene. And then shortly after, we start to get like the good reactions to this, Brunhilde and stuff, and Goal and everybody. Then it sort of falls flat as the narrator takes over. It's not the narrator's fault, but as the narrator takes over, what we end up getting is a bunch of stills of humanity crying, and it's just like, yeah, okay, like this was a time we should have seen people actually raising the glass, dipping their hat, taking their hat off, crying, seeing the tear actually flow. There was no animation in the second part of the reactions by the crowd, and that did sort of take down the notch of the mood of the scene a little bit, sort of to waver a little bit like that, right? So that sort of sucked. That they had a very well done scene when the speech was done, and then just the reactions sort of started to boom, 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 boom. That's just the way I feel. I don't know how you guys feel about it. The only other things, Loki. Loki was introduced now officially, taking on the appearance of Thor. Of course, we get the interaction between Odin and Loki, and we finally meet Loki's character. I recognize the VA in the English. Does it suit Loki entirely? Not exactly what I imagined Loki sounded like, but he is a little bit of a hipster. He has got that little bit of that very slimy sort of personality and stuff. So it's not a bad choice, just unexpected. I'd probably, like, where the season's almost over, probably going to wait until next season. Hopefully there is a next season, even with all the backlash that people are bringing up. But if there's a next season, I'll probably be able to warm up to the voice actor at that point. But that was all done well. And the last thing, the Adamas transformation and stuff, and the scene following that I thought was really well done. Some of the best animation I've seen thus far with Zeus sweating everything off and then tearing at his muscles and transforming his body into this form. And then the pressure. They sort of extend this scene a little bit. in the anime, unlike the manga, because in the manga it's simply like Adam recognizes and he puts up his guard. Goal and Brunhilde just go, what the hell? Why am I shaking? It's like it's instinct, and there's a baby crying. That's it. And then there's the new form, the final form, and stuff like that. In the anime, we get reactions from the crowd, not necessarily very well animated. We still get the baby crying, but we also get a bunch of people going, "Oh my, that's disgusting." Oh, and we get Loki talking about, "I haven't seen this form in a billion years" and stuff. We get just a little bit more to the scene. I don't know if it added or took it away. It wasn't terribly done. I thought I was just stoked to see the animation of the transformation and how well done that was. So, the reactions afterwards are sort of fine. I think Brunhilde goes on a little bit more. Once again, they sort of extend the scene in the anime for some reason. Maybe they're trying to build the tension a little higher than it was in the manga, because in the manga it was very short. As I said, Brunhilde said, "We're probably shaking because of instinct," and then Adam just ching ups his guard, and then that's it. It's a very quick sequence that's sort of extended here in the anime. I don't know if for better or for worse, honestly. As I said, probably just to add tension. But yeah, so those are all my points of the episode. Honestly, I didn't really have a single problem with the episode itself, and I was very grateful, as I said before, to get the confirmation of how Eyes of the Lord actually works when it's a non-simple fist fight, right? How does that work? So, yeah, so very, very, very interesting. Glad to see that. And honestly, this was a pretty solid episode. I give it an 8.5. It was solid. There was a couple of mishaps, as I said, with the speech, but the rest of it was very well done. Some of the best animation we've seen thus far. Some of the most consistent animation from the beginning of the episode to the end of the episode we have seen thus far. So I definitely give it that extra 8.5. Give it that half a point for doing that so well. I'm assuming that the next episode is going to be the hated one, the very infamous, already hated episode. So I'm gonna wait and watch that right now, and then we'll see how I feel about this game. Oh yeah, this ain't so bad. This Adam versus Zeus. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. We're gonna see how my tune might change for the next episode. So like, comment, subscribe, everybody. Don't forget to drink responsibly as always. 600 subscribers in the month of June. We are less than 10 away from doing that. Very excited about that, and we'll catch you back here next time. So peace out, everybody.